You'd have to be a little bit of a lunar nerd to spot it by these rather swoopy new graphics, but this is the 2017 Lunar Quasar. As you can see, not a huge amount has changed, but that's not such a bad thing. We've still got an external wet locker here with a 230 volt power point, another external locker at the back, alloy wheels, an Alco hitch stabiliser and secure wheel lock receiver, but of course no ATC stability control. And all the services are right over there on the offside. There is one new model to the range with a transverse island bed on a twin axle chassis, but today we're looking at something a little bit more traditionalist, the 544 with a fixed near side double bed. The most obvious differences are to be found here in the lounge. Gone are the greens of last year's Quasar, replaced by these rather nice oatmeal neutral furnishings, complemented by fetching blue curtains and scatter cushions. It all feels very classy and really rather grown up, certainly not in any way entry level. Look closely and you'll spot a few other differences. For a start, you no longer make up the front double bed by pulling slats out from underneath the chest. Instead, you pull out the bed bases from beneath each sofa to meet in the middle, and it makes a good sized double bed. One of the nice things about a traditional fixed near side bed layout, rather than the more popular transverse island bed, is that actually you end up with a much more spacious lounge area. One neat detail that Lunar has managed to retain is, despite those put-out bed frames, there are still drop-down lockers to access the bed boxes. That's really great news because it means that you can get stuff out from underneath without having to disturb the bed or indeed shift people from the sofas. Now you'll notice there's no front sunroof in this model. That's because Quasar still resists that, but instead we do get that fantastic full-length sky view roof light, which really does bring plenty of light into the lounge and the kitchen. And of course, without a front sunroof, you get plenty of lockers. 4 around the top here, 2 of them are shelved. And although the Quasar doesn't have quite as many funky lighting options as the rest of the Lunar range, you do get these rather fetching corner units and 4 spotlights. For what is a pretty affordable caravan, the kitchen is really very well equipped. We've got a separate oven and grill, a dual fuel hob with an electric hot plate and 3 gas burners, a decent sized fridge, and a few new additions, this rather smart natty splashback here and a new chrome tap. There are a couple of flaws. I don't particularly like the fact that there's not a vast amount of worktop, and what there is does intrude slightly into the lounge space. And of course there's only the one socket in here, which is a bit of a shame if you're trying to use lots of electrical devices. What I do like, however, is the fact that the table is stored right at the front, right by the lounge where it's going to be needed. And of course, if you have more needs for electric sockets, over here on the near side, we've got another socket ideally placed. However, plenty of people are more likely to be using that for their TV, because we've also got satellite point, a TV point, and a 12-volt socket. Although, if you'd rather have it elsewhere, there is another of those points on the front shelf. Underneath the sideboard, there's a drawer with a cutlery space, which is useful because there's not one of those in the main kitchen. And beneath that, there's a cupboard, and above, perfectly sited at a sensible height, you'll find the microwave. This master bedroom area feels particularly well equipped. I mean, there's the obvious things like a reading light each and a shelf, but those shelves are an unusually good size. There's room enough for a book and a mug of tea on them. There's a big roof light overhead and a good sized window, but that window also has this rather nice padded fabric pelmet. It adds to that really classy feel. Ahead, there's a TV mounting point along with all the relevant sockets. Above us, there are 3 lockers, and then over here on the offside of the van, we've got a massive wardrobe with 4 sock drawers beneath and what is essentially a dressing table. We've got the little table area here, a set of shelves, a mirror and a socket ideal for your hairdryer. Stand up and you will notice that there's less headroom in the Quasar than in some of the posher models in the Lunar range, but for 2017 there are these new flush fitting LED lights which look pretty smart but also mean they don't take away any of that headroom. The bed is huge, and that means a huge underbed storage area, and it's accessible from outside too. You might have noticed a little nibble out of the head end of the mattress. Well, that nibble makes a massive difference in the bathroom, creating a much bigger entranceway and a much more spacious feel. There's plenty of room for changing, plus an enormous shower cubicle that's fully lined and features a drying rail at the top. There's a smoked window with a shelf above, plus an overhead roof light, so it's lovely and bright in here. Plus there's a bowl sink with the new pop-up plug. Plus I like the fact that the blown air outlet for the Truma heating system is right in the middle of the room, so it should warm up nice and quickly. So the Quasar is fundamentally unchanged for 2017, but those little tweaks that have been made have served only to improve what was already a pretty good proposition. And I particularly like this 544 with this massive fixed near-side bed. It's more appealing for someone like me than, say, the transverse island bed 574, which is much more fashionable but has a rather more pinched bed space. Overall, it's a very appealing van for a very sensible price.